The water getting warm, and we'll grab a saucepan. So, canning peaches. The excitement starts. First thing we're going to do is we're going to set up our canner. This is a 22 pint Miro canner, pressure canner. I've had this for about 25 years. What we're going to be doing today is the little half pint, so realistically we could get 44 at one point. What we've done is I've washed this out completely. I filled it about 3/4 of the way with water. We then have washed the lid, made sure that the gasket is nice and flexible and clean. Inserted that there. We're going to blow on the little hole here to make sure that it's clear so that it doesn't clog up. After which we are going to put in the bottom of this that has been washed. We don't want our cans really sitting on the very bottom of our canner. So we're just going to plop that in. I have already put in about a half a cup to a cup of cider vinegar. And we're going to put the lid on. And we're just going to set that up so that it can come to temperature. That's important because this canner takes a long time to come to temperature. As you can see, I put this on a little catering tube burner, and I put it on high to get it going. It's very important that we make sure that this is not clogged so that doesn't pop your gasket, or it doesn't pop your pressure gauge. And you're supposed to have a petcock on this. I honestly don't. I don't ever use it. I just know that when I feel it, it feels right. And then I will turn this down to medium-high on our canner here. I started using the little two-burner canner because the first year that we were in this house, and I canned using this on my enamel stove, I ended up burning all the enamel off the stove. And so after that, I said no more. I went out and bought about a $30 two-burner buffet range here that you'd have in an apartment, and I've never had a problem since. I absolutely adore this. I take it out during canning season, it goes back, and I've had it for probably 25 years. So it prevents a lot of unnecessary problems with, destroying your stove, especially because now I have a glass stove. Okay, our next step is we're going to create a canning station. So here we have our hot water that we're going to put the peaches in. We're then going to transfer them with a slotted spoon, or I use a little spider, into the cold water so that we can remove the skin. We are then going to put the skinned and cut peaches in our water bath, or our water that we've put in some fruit fresh or some citric acid. And then we're going to put all the peels and the pits in here. They're either going to go to the compost, or more than likely most of these will go out to my chickens, who will think it's just the most wonderful thing ever. The peaches we are using are Freestone peaches. We're going to cut a mark in the bottom, just an X, and this prevents that peach from getting a lot of water underneath it and having it basically like explode in your hand. It's not going to explode per se, but you've got a lot of heat underneath that skin that's going to develop when we plop it into the pan. And so you don't want to go to break that skin and have all that hot water coming and hitting you on the hand. So we're going to leave that in for a little bit here. Once it be in, say, say 30 seconds, maybe in a minute, we put it in the cold water, we peel it, we cut it up, and slice it up into pieces, and we put all the things that we're not going to use anymore into the scrap bag for the chickens. So that's the game plan. honestly, when we're doing this, we don't want to do any more peaches than we can really do in one sitting. This may be a little much. I would say 4 peaches, 5 peaches at most is what you want to do, because the longer that the peaches sit in the boiling water, the mushier they're going to become. So I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this, but if you saw how nice those other peaches came out, you can see that this one's been in a little longer than it should. It's not going to hurt anything, but the longer that it's in the boiling water, the mushier it tends to become. When your cooling water gets way too hot, feel free to dump it out and get some fresh water. The purpose of the cool water is twofold. It's to stop the peaches from cooking from the heat, from the heated water, the boiling water, but it's also to protect your hands. These peaches are really hot when they come out, so you want to cool them down as fast as they can, and you want to protect your hands from the heat, and that's what the cooling water does. You can also put ice cubes in there if you have them, or just simply change out your water when it gets too hot. And anytime we have way too much leftover peels, etc., we take them out to the girls. Spoiler, if you haven't seen the video on the chicken coop, this is what it looks like right now. We're not quite done, but we're getting there. We have the new babies in here that we are transitioning, as well as the previously new babies. And I don't think anyone in here has had peaches yet, so this will be interesting to see if they like these or not. Yeah, hey babies, these are the previously new girls, our old girls, and the new ones that we are transitioning to the new coop. Again, we put them in here so that they can't get beaten up. See if we can get some out to the girls. And see how everybody likes it. This is recycling at its best. I give them lots and lots of goodies from the kitchen. And, oh goodness, girls. It's okay, it's okay. It's okay. You're not liking peaches too well right now. Got it. But they gave us lots and lots of eggs in return. So we will give the big girls this, and in the next step we will give the babies out front the rest of them, and hopefully, looks like everybody's kind of enjoying them, checking them out, see what we got. So hopefully we'll have some good eggs for my baby girls. So we have all of the peaches now cut up and ready to go. We have about a Tupperware bowl and a half of peaches to can. Our next step, we'll take this out to the babies out front. We will clean this mess up and we will get ready to actually do the canning portion of this. Okay, I want you to hear the canner. This has been going now for a couple of hours, so it's up to temperature. You can hear it boiling on the inside. We are down to medium-high. So this is ready to go as soon as we have cans to put into it. Hello, baby girls. What does Mommy have, huh? What does Mommy have? Oh, sweeties. You want to see? Let's see if you guys like these. Ready? Are we ready, guys? Let's see if we like peaches. Not sure about them. A little wet. Check them out. What we got? What we got? Come on, Elspeth. Come on, sweetie girl. Let's see what we got. Come on, baby. Oh, I think peach peels are a winner. At least with some of our avian friends here. Come on, babies. Good stuff. Oh, honey, you need your hair done. You need your feathers taken care of. What do we got, guys? Yeah, good stuff. Huh. Now, Fruit Fresh is telling us to add 1 teaspoon of Fruit Fresh for every cup of water. So that's what we're going to do now. And it is right there. I don't know if you can see that, but so that will help to keep our peaches actually looking nice and pretty and not brown and yellow and icky. Okay, so we've got both burners on high. There's our lids. This is our sugar water. I doubled the recipe, so it's 4 cups of sugar to 8 cups of water. We have our peaches, and we will put our jars here. I always put a sheet pan or a cake pan down that has a lid, so all of my juice is trapped here. Another thing I would suggest is on your canning day, you can see it's now 6:27, so people are going to start getting hungry. On your canning day, start your day out by making a quick, easy supper. Something you can throw in the oven once you're done canning, because what will inadvertently happen otherwise is you're going to start canning, you're going to get right in the middle of it, and somebody's going to say, when's dinner? And if your whole goal was to save money by canning, you just kind of blew it, because now you have to order a pizza or stop everything, make dinner, and then try to get your mojo back and try to get your canning going. So I suggest on your canning days, just plan to either buy a pizza or plan on having a frozen pizza, or plan like I did and put a quick and easy casserole together that you can pop in the oven in the middle of your canning session and you don't have to stop. So I'm going to pack this. I do a raw pack, which means I fill each of these jars as much as I can, leaving a little bit of headspace, mind you. But I want to fill these jars as much as I can with the fruit, because again, the goal is to get as much fruit in here as possible. So once I'm satisfied that I've got as much fruit as I can, we're going to go over to the sugar water, and we're going to just start filling these jars up. We're going to leave probably approximately half a headspace, half an inch above where that seal is going to be. And we're going to take a spatula and we're going to go around the edge of that jar, because we want that you're going to see the liquid go down, because it's going and filling up any air spaces that are around there. So then if there's still some space left, like in this little guy here, we're going to put a little bit more, because we want the fruit to be covered by the sugar water. If it's not completely covered, don't panic. It'll be fine. You just want to try to submerge it under the water so it doesn't get brown. Next step is we're going to wipe down the lid, because we want a very good seal between the lid and the rubber gasket. And we're going to take some tongs. I know there's these lovely little magnetic things out there that grab it. I don't own one. One of these days I'm going to have to grab it. But we're going to put that on top. We're going to grab our seal, and we're going to hold it down with our finger, and we're just going to put the seal on it. Put the lid on it. Tighten it up. Once we tighten it up, okay, once we're done, we're going to put this into our canner. Okay, we're going to fill this whole thing up. Once we do, we're going to tighten it down. And once we tighten it down, I let it go for approximately half an hour. in the meantime, I'm getting the rest of it, the canning ready again. If I've got more canning to do. If I'm done, I'm just done. I shut everything down and I let everything cool off. It can take hours for this canner to cool. It took a couple hours for it to get up to temperature. So don't feel like you got to put it under water or anything else. Just let it naturally cool down. One of the things you are looking for, you want to kind of keep it to temperature. You don't want to see this little red dot pop up. If that dot pops up, it means that it's over-pressurized. It's got to release the pressure. But as long as you, before you hook this down, as long as you make sure your vent is clear, you're good to go. So we are pretty much at capacity here. Try to nestle that guy in there. We have all the water covering all of our jars. I'm not sure we got a full 44. I don't think so. But what we're going to do is we're going to put the lid on and we'll let that process for approximately 30 minutes. Okay, we're going to lift this out of the pressure canner. But we're going to be very careful. We're going to use our canning hooks. You can hear it sizzle there. And we're going to take it over on top of a towel, folded towel, so as to not hurt our hands. And we will put them out on a folded set of towels so that they can cool off at their own time. Again, you can see how I said the fruit is floating right now because it's been so compressed. As this cools and you give it a week or two, all that fruit will float down to the bottom. So here is the end result. We ended up with 36 cans of peaches. And I tested this guy out already. And as you can see, they have sealed. You always hear that lovely popping sound. In my family, we call that the sound of victory. We've labeled them. We'll test every one of them, make sure that they are sealed, and then they go onto our shelves so that they can be eaten throughout the year, couple of years. I would say it's safe. In my experience, I know that we've eaten things as late as 5 years, 6 years, and had no problem. I remember growing up, we used to have peaches for easily, I would say probably 7, 8 years, and they were still good. I generally cut it off at about 5 years, maybe a little more. Just to make sure, you always check to see the quality, to see if they've turned any color or whatever. If they have, pitch it. It's not worth a trip to the emergency room. But they last forever. I went upstairs just last night and I have plenty of things canned from 2013 that we'll end up eating. So that is how you can peaches. So let us see what a properly stocked farm pantry should look like. And there we are, folks. We have what a farm pantry should look like in September. We have literally the fruits of our labor right there. That gives you such a sense of security and such a sense of satisfaction. We have provided for our family. We have plenty of fruit stores for the next year, maybe a little longer. And we did it just through the fruit of our labor. So I would like to think that when I'm looking at here and seeing all these canned goods, all these jellies and all the peaches that we just canned, that it's kind of like the same feeling that my Grandma Wren would have had when she was canning peaches. The satisfaction of knowing that for a day's work you have food security for the entire winter. So I hope this video was helpful for you. I hope that I took a little bit of the fear out of canning. And let's fill our pantries.